Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and today I have another battle for you on Pokemon Online against the opponent by the name of Wu. Now I'm using the same team today, and I'm going to use it for one more battle before I kind of switch guys around or whatever. And after that final video, which should be coming later this week, I'm going to be doing an analysis of the team and the Pokemon sets in it to give you guys a better, glimpse at my thought process when I made this team and the ins and outs of some of the sets that guys may not have fully been able to see in some of the battles I'm presenting to you. But this battle today is pretty ridiculous in terms of the fact that I had so much bad luck against me in this battle. There were so many crits, so many secondary effects occurring throughout the entire battle, all against me, which is why I think this battle is actually kind of hilarious and why I wanted to show it to you. But right off the bat, judging my opponent's team, the first thing I'm immediately afraid of is Magneton, because that means if I want to bring Wormadam in to try and set up Stealth Rock, I know I cannot do that safely because I'll just get trapped by the Magnet Pull ability. So I'm going to try to play around that a little bit in this battle, but it turns out I never actually get the chance to set up Stealth Rock, which isn't terrible because nothing on his team is really weak to it other than the Scolipede. But even so, Scolipede won't die, or will die pretty quickly because it doesn't have the best defenses in the world. Also, I'm very terrified of the Mesprit because they could be any kind of set. It could be defensive, physical, or special attacker. It could be a trick user. I don't really know what it's going to do, so that's kind of the big thing that I'm worried about over all the Pokemon on the team. And then obviously next would be the Dugtrio because of its trapping abilities as well. But I know I can live any hit with it from pretty much all the Pokemon on my team, except for maybe Magmortar. So I'm not too worried about it. It's just the fact that it's a really good revenge killer, and it could trap maybe something that I really would not want it to and take me out because of it. But also, he has the physical wall Alomomola, and he also has a Bastion on his team, so it's kind of defensive, but he actually leads off with his Mesprit, as you'll see, and I lead off with my Seismitoad because I realize that I can pretty much hit it with anything, or hit everything on his team with one attack, whether it be by Water move, Scald, or by Ground type move, Earth Power. So I go for that right away, and he goes for Sub, which makes me kind of excited because I know it's not a trick user, but then it starts setting up Calm Minds, and I'm kind of worried at this point. Luckily, I get a burn on it, which helps me out a lot, and it's kind of the only bit of luck I get in my favor in this entire match. But I switch out to my Wormadam thinking I could take any hit from it. He goes for Psychic, and obviously, Wormadam takes that awesomely. Now here I'm predicting the Magneton to come in right away, so I immediately switch out into Musharna because I know I can take any hit from the Magneton as well as deal with the Mesprit if he doesn't switch out. So after he starts, after he uses the Thunderbolt, I know the entire set and I see that it doesn't do a lot. So I start setting up Calm Minds of my own because I have recovery in the form of Moonlight, and I know that Mesprit does not get any recovery moves unless it's Rest. So I feel like I'm in a pretty good position here, and except for the fact that when he Thunderbolts me this next turn, he gets the Paralysis, which is a turn I was actually going to Moonlight on. And then to top it all off, the next Thunderbolt is a critical hit, taking out my Musharna. So this pretty much ruins a solid counter that I had to this Mesprit. So now I bring in Machoke, thinking at this range I can kill it with a Bullet Punch, and I am mistaken on that fact, so I just lose my Machoke right there. So now I need to, bring in something to take a hit from this Mesprit, and I realize that Wormadam probably is the best thing to do it. I can take it out with my Gyro Ball. I actually should have set up Stealth Rock this turn. I wasn't sure if Burn would kill though, so I went for that anyways. It didn't really matter too much anyways because Stealth Rock didn't matter. But he brings in Magneton, obviously, to take out the Wormadam. I can't do anything about it. So here I bring in Magmortar, thinking he's going to want to switch out right away. So I go for Flame Charge, expecting him to switch out into his Dugtrio, but he actually stays in and goes for Volt Switch, gets a crit on the Volt Switch, and then goes into Dugtrio. So that's 2 crits against me that I've already had. But luckily, because of the Flame Charge and the boosted speed, I can outspeed this Dugtrio and take it out with a Flamethrower. Now here he brings in the Alomomola, and I know even though I have Hidden Power Grass on this guy, I shouldn't leave it in because obviously I'm going to die. So I bring in Miltank, and I go for Toxic on it, predicting it to just stay in or go for Wish or something, but he makes a good play and goes out to his Scolipede to take the Toxic, because obviously it's immune to it. He sets up a layer of Toxic Spikes now, whereas I hit him with Seismic Toss and immediately get the Poison Point activated. So that's also fantastic for my Miltank as well. But I just keep going for Seismic Toss. I don't care if he sets up 2 layers of Toxic Spikes. It really doesn't bother me that much on this team. So I just kill it off with another Seismitoad, so that's a dead Scolipede, which is great. Here I go for Milk Drink. I know I'm probably going to be faster than Magneton. I don't really know base speeds of these two, but he actually goes for Volt Switch, so switching out to his Alomomola, and I go for another Milk Drink on this turn, predicting him to expect me to Toxic again, so he went back out into his Magneton, which is good on my part, except even though I get back up to full health, he goes for a Thunderbolt, crits me, and then I die from poison. So that's my dead Miltank right there. So pretty much everything is going against me in this battle. Until I finally bring out my Seismitoad. I know from the previous battle that I can actually KO an Alomomola with 2 Earth Powers that are Life Orb boosted. I know Protect is coming this turn, but I just keep going for it anyways. It gets some more toxic damage on me, but as you'll see in a moment, that does not matter on the Seismitoad, which is why I love using this Pokemon so much. But I take it out with another Earth Power, so that's a dead Alomomola, which is fantastic. So here, he brings in his Magneton. I guess he thought he would be faster, but he's not. I go for Rest, whereas he goes for Flash Cannon. As you can see, the Flash Cannon did 22%. I was at 23, so it wouldn't have killed anyways, even if he was faster. But here, the last, amazing part of the set is I actually have Sleep Talk with Life Orb, and here I actually get a crit. But it didn't matter really because it's not like this thing would have killed me, and if I Sleep Talk the Earth Power, it would have been dead anyways. So that is pretty much the battle. All I had left was a Mag Mortar with like 20 health or something like that. It was not enough to really do much damage, but he runs here because all he has left is the Bastiodon, which will die in pretty much one hit from the from a Scald or an Earth Power. But it does get the ability Sturdy, so I actually think he could have potentially lived one of those moves because I didn't get my rocks up. So I think he should have played it out to the end personally, because you never know what could have happened. He might have just, gotten another crit like he had for the entire match. But this is just an example of me showing you like how good team composition and having like good type coverage along your team can pretty much outweigh hacks if it comes in your way. But that was pretty much the battle for today. It was pretty intense from my side, and I was like freaking out during most of it. But I thought it was pretty good.